Welcome back to the Simply Shed Talk Live with your host, Andrew Boyle, and
Peter Miller, your co-host. Guys, welcome to another week of Shed Talk Live. Super excited. We're back. Well, I'm back in the Sunshine State and at one of my shed lots today. Super excited to talk to you guys today.
so Peter, I know you've been calling me and we've been playing phone tag, but what lot are you at today?
I am in sunny Southwest Florida. I'm going to make a bunch of people jealous. We're at about 70 degrees. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's sunny, and it's a great day to be at a shed lot, and it's a great day to sell.
Yes, I just got back from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. It was freezing cold out there. Um, but I know you had called me a couple times, like I said, Peter, and I was not able to talk to you about the show, about what we're going to talk about. But I know we just got back before we I went out of town. We were at the Shed Suite UserCon, and there's a lot of cool things coming out. But it just brought up the idea of AI, and I heard this quote, Peter, and I think this is spot on. But it says, AI won't replace shed dealers, but dealers using AI will replace dealers who don't.
That's right. I thought it was really interesting, the AI aspect of it. And they had a guy, Chadwick Miller, come in and he was talking about taking pictures of sheds. And he was talking about you want to make sure you're holding it at a certain level, a certain distance. You want to make sure you're not doing the fisheye zoom, like the 0.5 zoom. It was really informative, and this is the stuff that as you get together and you start talking shed stuff, shed talk, you can kind of learn this. And what is it going to do? It's going to make everybody better. And AI is definitely here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Had a really good time at the UserCon. Was coming off being sick last week. Uh, for those who saw me last week and saw how I looked half alive, I'm back and I'm feeling a lot better this week. Definitely excited. Also, what we learned about the different generations and how they work together, as far as you have Gen Z, you have Gen X, and then you also have Millennial. And then that 1%, literally 1% of baby boomers that are still in the workforce. And I'm curious, if you are a baby boomer and you're on here watching Shed Talk Live, you got to send us a message, let us know you're there, or just hop on for just a second. We want to say hi to you. If you're one of the others, Gen Z, Gen X, or Millennial, do the same thing. We want to say hi to you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look, there is a link in the description on Facebook, in the comments on YouTube. All you do is click that link. It'll bring you on stage, and we'd love to hear from you guys. This show is all about networking and hearing from each other. So tell us where you're from, where you're watching from, or if you're using AI and in what capacity at your shed lot. And as Peter, as you were saying, I was taking all kinds of notes there about taking the picture from your chest level, not from your eye level. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, maybe that's why my pictures are so bad. I look at some of these shed dealers, and I'm like, man, these pictures are great. And then the other key thing that I wrote down with listening to that AI, the guy that was talking about it was Nano Banana, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
Um, but going in there, taking your shed picture of wherever it is on your lot, sticking it in there on Nano Banana, and adjusting the backgrounds, making chickens walk and make sound. And I was really impressed. I mean, obviously we all probably know what AI is, and if you're like me, I mean, I use ChatGPT for everything. But it's just crazy how it's getting further. Like, I never thought of that, and even
Right.
integrating it into some of the things that Shed Suite is doing is just incredible. I almost tell my kids, like, hey, I think at some point AI might become top priority as far as schooling goes, because you got to learn how to use it. And it's just in the shed industry, there's so many things that I didn't even think about, using it for. But the other thing I've I've recently started doing is using it for Facebook Marketplace post. Using it to get something that grabs attention. But
Mm.
speaking of Facebook Marketplace posts, this is our last show of February. So if you hop on, tell us how your month of February has gone. We just have a couple of days left. So Peter, I know you're in your Fort Myers lot there at Iguana Sheds. How has your February been going?
To be honest, February has not been as good as I want it to be. And I think more than anything, um, if we go into that with a mindset of like, oh, it's bad and the rest of the year is going to be bad or whatever, we're going to lose, man. We're going to be so down. But I look at it as there's just that much more potential. Like I was asking, when is the tax return money coming around? Like people have got to be getting a lot more money. I watched the State of the Union address last night, and it's like, if everybody's going to be making that much more money, they got to be spending it somewhere. And so, don't get down on that. Make sure you guys are posting on your local Facebook groups. Make sure you're doing your marketing. Don't give up on that. I was talking to our employees here and getting ready for March and the March of Madness, as you would say, for shed sales. Uh, with Florida, we do have the unique opportunity that we have not just a certain selling season. Selling season is all year. I will say there's better times than others, but we don't have to worry about 3 feet of snow or something like that we can't get our trucks and trailers. About the worst thing we would have was maybe a Category 2 hurricane come through and stop us from doing a delivery for a day or two.
So, Peter, how are you using AI? Obviously, sales you not probably want them to be. But what are some ideas? I mean, as far as AI, are you guys using at your shed lots? Whether that's helping with your marketplace post, helping with your response. I know you guys are pretty handy with like the up system and the lead follow up and the texting back, and it always blows my mind what you guys are doing over there. But what are you using on as far as AI goes, to help your shed lot?
So one of the things is taking those pictures and making them uniform. And that was one of the things I liked about UserCon is learning a little bit more about that. So you want to make sure you're taking your pictures at a certain time of the day when the sun's up. Like for instance, right now I can move around, you'll see shade, sunlight, shade, sunlight. And when you do that with your shed pictures, it's going to be half the shed's going to be in the dark and then half of it's going to be daylight. So make sure you're doing it in a time where the sun is directly overhead, usually between 11 and 2 o'clock. We take those pictures and then we throw it into ChatGPT, and you can just do a generic post on Facebook Marketplace, but you want to set yourself apart from them. And sorry guys, we got the cavalry coming by here. We're right by a major road, so that'll be gone here shortly. And so we want to make sure that we're posting at certain times. And one of the things that we also have done is done some paid advertising on Facebook, which has really, really increased our leads. And this is one of the things I tell people too, is if you pay all that money for leads, but you don't know what's happening with the leads, what are you really doing? If you pay for leads, make sure you have a good system of following up with that lead and don't let one slip away. Somebody is going to be interested. And we, like this shed here right behind, beautiful shed. You got a metal frame. This is LP Pro strut flooring made by Smith Built. It's a really, really nice shed. Now, somebody says, hey, I'm interested in that. Collect that information and make sure you follow up with them. We use a CRM. It's Go High Level is the CRM system. There's great companies out there, and a Shed Suite has a CRM system. Velocity 360, Joe Ignis, they have a CRM system that can plug and play directly with what you already have. But we've chosen to use our own system and be able to kind of be hands-on that. So customer hits us up on Facebook and says, hey, I'm interested in that one. It's responding back within 30 to 60 seconds. Hey, you're interested in that one. Can I get a good phone number so that maybe we can follow up with you on what that particular shed is that you need, Maybe it's not that one, maybe it's another one. Make sure that you're taking advantage of the modern tools that are available to us, and close as many sales as you possibly can.
Okay, Peter, I got to ask the obvious question that everybody's probably thinking. Why in the world are you on your phone outside in Florida on the talk show?
Well, to be honest, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't bothering my employees as they're on the phone, and we have customers coming in and out of the office. And in this particular office, I don't really have a spot that I can get off in a corner and be out of the way. So it's 70 degrees, it's sunny, it's beautiful out here. So I figured a phone and getting to show you guys some of what we have here was kind of cool. So let me just do this real quick. You can kind of see some of the sheds out here that we have, and let me flip that back around here. This particular shed is got a nice wide garage door on it. You've got the tall 7-foot sidewalls. It's a metal frame. One of the things that we did in one of our for our manufacturer is that metal frame. And I know you probably don't have that across the country, but if you do, I'm curious to hear your input. Our customers love the metal frame. Wood, I don't think will ever go away, but metal, especially here in Florida, has been really, really popular.
Peter, are you trying to sell us a shed or?
Absolutely. My number is 863-673-7941. You text me, you call me, I will sell you a shed. We can try to have it delivered, but the shipping might cost a little bit.
But I am curious if anybody's out there and wants to hop on and tell us their opinion. But I mean, I hate to say this, but I personally don't like those.
You don't like the metal? Okay.
I don't.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
So it's like the C channel, is that right? Is that what you call it?
If you want to call it that, let's somewhat of a C. Yeah, so you got a C channel.
To me, it just doesn't look as sturdy. But again, that's my personal preference. Doesn't mean obviously it sells and it does good, so keep doing it. But that's my personal opinion. I'm curious what everybody else on this call or this people that are watching what they think. Of course, all the people that build with wood are probably going to be biased, and versus the ones that build with metal, probably the same way. But yeah, Peter's sitting outside. That's the thing about being live. If you guys own, more than one business, you understand how hard it is to every Wednesday at 2:00 to be in a certain, spot. And we're still learning, with the sirens in the background. My kids are like, "Dad, you're way too close to the camera last time." So I'm trying to sit farther back, hoping I can do that. I had to get a headset so I could sit farther back. But let's get back to our AI, Peter. I know we were talking about this today. And with that, even the ChatGPT, when I was in the capital of Pennsylvania, I don't know where it is, but I was there yesterday. And we looked at restaurants, and we're like, I was with my brother, and we're like, let's just ask Chat what the number one restaurant is, and let's go there. And so we asked Chat, number one restaurant near me, and it pulled up a restaurant. It was a good restaurant. But I just curious of how much that's going to change, because my kids do that a lot. So this next generation of people that are buying is how many people are going to be doing that and not necessarily looking up where you're at on Google Maps and stuff like that. So the question I have is do you think with AI that it's going to make pricing more competitive, lower margins, or how do you think you can stand out with AI? I'm just curious. Obviously, you're a dealer there in Fort Myers, and are you doing anything, talking to ChatGPT, telling it how good you are? That is a method.
So
what are your thoughts on it?
My thought is, all right, so you got to understand AI is taking open source. It's taking everything from the internet and pulling it in and taking the highest rated, whatever information it has and throwing that back out to you. So one of the things I would suggest is make sure you have somebody on your website providing a lot of detailed information. If you can do blogs, I think that's a really good idea to have on your website. Also, reviews. You need to be getting reviews from your customers and get them to be extremely descriptive in what it is. Hey, Peter over at Iguana Sheds provided me this 12 by 24 metal C-channel frame shed. And so now we're not just saying shed, we're not just saying 1224, we're saying metal C-frame channel shed. And so now it's adding more detail into that, and it's pulling that off of, online and such. And you're giving yourself that much more opportunity to be able to have that much more information about your particular business. Um, AI is just going to keep on growing. The more information that's put in, that is something that you need to be doing if you're not already.
Peter, have you tried this at your lot? I know I've done this at some of my furniture stores, but you can basically talk to chat if you have the talk version. I think it might be a premium version. I'm not sure, but where you can have a conversation with chat, and you can basically tell it like, hey, I was at Iguana Sheds in Fort Myers, and their prices were great. They're great people, blah blah blah. And then you can have somebody else. I've tried it and it works. Have somebody else ask like, what's the best shed lot in Fort Myers? And it'll actually pull up. I did it for my furniture stores, and it actually pulled up my furniture store. Like they have great prices because it's like a child. If you think of chat or AI as like a child, it's learning from the internet. It's basically whatever you tell it, it's repeating that. Have you done that at any of your shed lots or something similar?
I
Have you
have
tried it?
not. No, I have not. But I plan on doing that when I get off this call here. We'll
Okay,
do.
try it. You gotta try
I'll
it.
have to come back next week and tell you what I find out.
It's better and obviously works better in smaller towns if there's not a lot of stuff on chat. But yeah, you can basically tell it, and it'll repeat if it hasn't heard anything else.
Mm.
But as far as AI, we're talking about AI today and February sales. If you guys are out there, click the link. You can join the call. Tell us where you're from. If you're using AI, what it's done for you, or questions about February. How are your sales? This network in the shed, we can learn and help each other so much. And I think of even if you're in the same town or competition, I think that competition when the shed industry gets better, I think it helps everybody. When you have a competitor open up next door to you, I think it actually helps. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Like I come from the furniture world, and if you look, they call them furniture rows. If you notice, like in big towns, it'll be all your furniture stores, name brands will all be right beside each other. It's just because we all have different sheds, different. You might have the metal, which I personally don't like, but the other person might like it, and so it's competition is not a bad thing. So when the shed industry gets better and we get on here and we share our ideas and we're open. If you call, Joanne, we're happy to answer any question as far as whatever you would like to know. We don't necessarily want to hold anything back. But I know you're talking about your sales, Peter. But has your average sale changed at all in the last couple of months? I know tax returns should start rolling, and usually that means your average sale goes up. But have you looked at any of that data, Peter? Well, I think we lost Peter. But from what I'm seeing, our average sale is actually up slightly this year over last year. And I'm curious if everybody out there, what you guys are doing. Let's see. Let's add Peter back. Are you there?
Yeah. Sorry. That's the problem with being on your cell phone. Sometimes when you get a phone call, it'll kick you off. So I think I've got it straightened out there. But continue on your question. I'm sorry about
So
that.
the question is have you seen a difference in your average sale over the last couple of months? Typically, if income tax starts rolling, typically you'll see an increase in your average ticket price, your average sale. And I was curious if you've seen that.
Yes, but I wouldn't say it's all the tax money because honestly, I don't think the tax money is quite hit yet. I would attribute it more to the options that we offer. So this is one of the things we were talking with a couple of different manufacturers is you don't have to if you always sell on price and you're trying to be like, oh yeah, we're the lowest price, lowest price, lowest price, you're driving down your ticket price versus we have the best quality or we have the best features or we have the best options, then you're driving up your price. And so, the one thing I would say is over the past probably 3 months, we've offered some features in our buildings and different buildings that we carry that raise the ticket price. And so as far as quantity of sales, I don't think we've necessarily gone up on quantity, but the average price per ticket has gone up, I would say probably at least $1,500 on.
So what are some
those
features you've added?
So we've added options to do LVP flooring into the sheds in different ones. We've offered features into like a finished out interior wall with insulation. We also have offered this metal frame has honestly not been a more expensive cost, but we can do a taller sidewall. We can go to an 8-foot sidewall, and we've had that feature, but we're kind of diving into it a little bit more, especially when people put side-by-side units into their shed. So like a Polaris Ranger, if you try to put it into a shed, 2 years ago, it may have been scraping the top, or they may have had to have a framed opening and put a different type of garage door opening. Now we can go to an 8-foot sidewall, so we can take care of the customer ahead of time. That customer doesn't have to worry about, oh, I've got to add a door aftermarket, or I've got to do this. No, we take care of that. We want to make it as seamless as possible for the customer. We want to make sure that when they come in, we have the answer for them, not in a know-it-all fashion, but as a solve the problem fashion.
So, Peter, if you could make one AI tool, one futuristic tool for the shed industry, and you could make this AI do whatever you want, what would you make it do?
Oh man, I can I have a story to kind of
Sure,
answer that?
it wouldn't be Peter Miller without a story.
So one of the books I'm reading right now is Never Split the Difference, and so the guy's name is Chris. I forget his last name, but he was a negotiator for the FBI for like 20-something years or something like that, some crazy. And he was talking about negotiations, and this is one of the things I think it goes back into sales with customers is listening to them, voice inflection, psychology of those different things. So if you had an AI tool, and I think this goes back that could automatically read somebody as soon as they go in and be able to give you like a hint, like this customer is this. So it listens to your conversation for maybe a minute or something along those lines, and then all of a sudden you have an earpiece in your ear, and all of a sudden it tells you, okay, this person is going through this situation, da 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 da, and then you be able to present that. Now, I think just years of experience, you can learn that, but how cool would that be to have an AI tool that would be able to listen to the conversation, deduct what happens, and then you would be able to negotiate in a fashion that would be. So open-ended questions. This are one of those things. And guys, this is the live part of it. I've got one of my salespeople coming along with a customer, so I'm going to do a little bit of walk and talk as we go here. But negotiations and how you talk to your clients, not being a know-it-all, but answering the questions properly. I'm really excited about the Shed Sales Summit coming up in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm working on getting us some speakers in that are going to help you with this information. It may not be AI where all of a sudden you have the answer whispered into your ear, but it's going to be something where you'll learn and you'll be able to take it back and use it immediately in your shed lot.
Okay. I know you got a customer there. You're probably itching to help your salesperson help them. But just kind of with AI, I think that we all know that the fastest response is going to win. The clearest explanation when they ask a question is going to win. And, the most professional presentation is going to win. So if you guys have anything like that, join us next week on our call. Let us know, the AI tools that you're using. Like I said, we went to this conference, we learned some cool stuff, and that, it's obviously it's out there, but it's how do you put it to use is the question. And so if AI can help us be faster, be clearer, and be more consistent, I think that, that's going to win in the long run. And so Join us next week, next Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on the Shed Sales Summit Facebook page or the Simply Shed Talk Facebook group. Join those two. Turn your notifications on. You'll get a notification when we go live. But we are going to be right here live next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Please prepare ahead, ask some questions, join the conversation, and let us all grow in the shed industry and make the shed industry great again.
So,
Alrighty, thank you guys so much.
Oh, I was going to do something. Can I do this? This is live.
No, we already ended it. We can't go back.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Go ahead. What's up?
So let's flip this around. I want to show you some of the trade-ins that we've gotten on some of these. And I want you guys to look at this because I've asked for Shed of the Week pictures. And this is going to be kind of some interesting stuff here. So this particular shed here, as you can see, is a trade-in. This shed is a TED shed. It's been around for probably, I don't know, 30 plus, 40 years, almost something like that. But it's been basically sealed up so that it can be sold. And it's not going to be the best shed in the world. This is one other I wanted to show you real quickly. This is some of the condition that we'll get a shed back in. And you'll see that they had it attached to their house. And they wanted to trade it in for a new shed. And so we do all kinds of things like this. This had a dog door. They put concrete on the floor here. They mixed it up and they poured it all over the floor. These are some of the things that we see coming back into our shed lot. And so I'm curious to see what you guys have in your shed lots. Submit them to Peter at makingsalessimple.com or Andrew at makingsalessimple.com. We're excited to see what you guys have out there, and we hope this is a help to you guys.
Yeah, so a question for next week is, do you guys take trade-ins? Obviously, Peter does. Hope we didn't pay a lot of money for that thing. And I'm sure his
free.
Free? Okay, come on. Okay, let us know next week. Do you guys do that? What's the craziest one you got? I mean, concrete on a wood floor, that's pretty impressive. The delivery guy probably hated that. But join us next week, next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to email a question in advance, you can email your questions to Andrew at makingsalessimple.com or Peter at makingsalessimple.com. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week.
See you guys.